Welcome to Around the Board, a show where four board game enthusiasts discuss board game topics and news. In today's show, we're going to talk about mass market games. We'll do a round of play, shelf, trade, debate game themes, and bring it all home with a new segment called Review and Release. Today's topic, Wingspan. Here are your hosts, Daniel Connors, John Theismann, Chris Thomason, and yours truly, Andy Barnett. Now join us around the board.
Hey guys, I have to let you know I finally arrived. The whole point of doing this show was so that I can finally meet board game designers, and it happened.
And who did you meet?
You met Matt Saunders?
Yes.
Matt Saunders?
Ironically, yes, I did meet Matt Saunders, the designer of Mo Money. I always have that one close by.
You always have the game that you're looking for.
I know, it's amazing. And honestly, I did not plan this one. That was completely off the cuff. So, but no, I played a game with Mark Swanson. Do you guys know who Mark Swanson is?
I think he makes those delightful little pot pies.
Does he come?
No, he was Ron's brother.
Does he drive the van? No, that's the Schwann's man.
Schwann's. No, sorry, I forgot who I was talking to. So Mark Swanson designed Feudum from 2017. It was on Kickstarter in 2016. So anyways, Feudum is this giant game. Just one of these crunchy Euro games, economic games. Everyone who plays it is like, they've never seen a game quite like this. It blows your mind for the complexity, but it's so like really good too. So I've heard. I've actually never played it.
Wait, I thought you said you just played it with this guy.
That's what I thought.
Well, I played a game with him, and I played
Go Fish.
No,
we actually played Monopoly.
No, I played his upcoming game.
Oh, it was the Thimble.
Yes, I got to play two of his prototypes, and I was so excited.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had a friend who a friend of a friend, essentially, right? And he invited me and Matt Saunders over to play his upcoming two of his upcoming games. One's like this tile lane game, and it's probably the meatiest, thinkiest tile placement game you'll ever play
Since King Domino.
I actually felt since King Domino. No. This will make King Domino look like a -1 on the weight scale.
Wow.
And it played in like 20 minutes too. That was crazy.
That
I was
is
actually
crazy.
pretty embarrassed because I didn't quite understand the game. Like even like 3/4 of the way, I was like, "Wait, how does this work again?" So
That sounds like me.
Does this have it says this? So first of all, you're not under an NDA, obviously, because you're talking about this.
Yeah. Well,
And does it have a name?
that one I'm not sure about. Even though that one is going to come out recently.
I'm not sure about. I will look for that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it. But the other one does have a name, and it has a entry in Board Game Geek. So I know I can say this one, and it's called Fur. Fir. Fur.
Okay.
So this other one is more. His goal was to make more of a Caverna weight game, but it's not Caverna weight right now. I'll tell you what. It's about logging in the.
So it's a logging game.
It is a logging game.
There you go.
That's right. It's gonna give Click Clack Lumberjack a run for his money. I'll tell you what.
So I will tell you, Caverna, they've got some pretty good components in there. So it is a pretty heavy game. I mean, it's probably at least
Gosh.
6 pounds, would you say?
Yeah. This one is a BGG weight of a game. Anyways, but it was really cool. So I've been in this hobby for like 10 years, and I've just really love the podcasters, the designers. I love getting to like experience this stuff. So the fact that I was actually asked to join, I know right now, the fact that I was actually asked to enjoy this play session test was super exciting for me, and I'm totally stoked. But
That is cool.
anyways, yeah, I was
I'm excited for you. I'm so excited for you. I live vicariously through you, Daniel.
Good. I mean, most people do.
The time. Can I tell a story? Can I tell the story about the time that we met Tom Vassell? Can we say his name here on the show?
Yeah, I think it's allowed.
We met him, and we took a picture with him at Origins, I believe, and had a video where he gave a shout out to Daniel. And then I wanted to take it even further. I had a program from Origins, and I faked Tom's signature on it, and I was going to give it to Daniel. And I was so excited just to see his reaction and troll him. And then like the other guys with me were like, "No, we can't do that to him, man. That'll crush him when he finds out the truth."
Yeah.
It wasn't Tom Vassell.
Yeah, Chris, you're muted. Just thought you'd like to know that.
It's by design.
So, though I will say that I would have appreciated that, and I would have fallen for the joke head over heels. So, anyways,
Chris, you're still muted.
you're still muted, Chris.
Just to
I'll
let
try
you
to be subtle.
Totally.
Be like,
Oh man, that's super.
There he is.
I muted because I had to sneeze, and then I thought I hit the button. Gosh dang it! Yeah, no, I was there. I was one of the people who was like, Andy, we can't do this. Daniel, like, it will destroy him. He'll never talk to us ever again. I have never met a fanboy like Daniel before. And was that the origin of Vassal's nickname? Like, was it that moment that we came up with it, or was I think it was later?
Probably.
That was your doing.
What nickname have you give Tom Vassal?
Yeah, what is his nickname, Chris?
All right, so I didn't know we were going to get into this here today, but all right, so I refer to Tom Vassal, as Board Game Jesus, and the reason for that is because people can't not care what this man has to say. I like him a lot. He's seemingly a great person. If I'm looking for a board game review, no question about it. I'm looking for his reviews on the Dice Tower. I love his format, all those things about it. It's great. But people are like, oh, well, I played this game and I enjoyed it. And then people comment like, but Vassal said, it doesn't matter what Vassal says. He's just a man. It doesn't matter. But people treat him like Board Game Jesus, and so I call him that. All the fanboys like Daniel are stupid.
That was the sound of you being struck by lightning, speaking
There
such
you go.
blasphemy, Chris.
Speaking against Board Game Jesus.
Well, anyway.
Maybe I can get the moniker of Board Game Judas. That'd be great.
Ooh, I like that.
Or just yesterday's Judas.
Yesterday's Judas.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what, guys?
Still my favorite term.
You know what?
What?
I think it's time for the next part of the show. Do you know what we do during the next part of the show?
No, inform us.
We have to do a little something called
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Oh, yes, it is. It is time to play the game. And what is the game? Around the Board is all about debating different topics within tabletop gaming in 4 unique segments, each hosted by one of us. A behind-the-scenes judge will award points. At the end of the show, whomever has the most points will sit on their soapbox and talk about whatever they want. They'll be the king of nothing. So now it's time to play said game. Let's start this off with
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, guys. If you did not see what just happened, rewind 20 seconds and watch Chris's screen. That was epic.
I got it. Yeah, I'm usually real competitive in this. Chris needs to get a point or two for that. That little, what is that? An homage to wrestling entrances there?
Correct. Well, because like last week, you guys were saying that like I don't, make it. The whole reason we do the Triple H music because of me, and I don't make a big deal of it. So I decided to just go like to the 12th level and actually do what he does as part of his entrance. So I'm now covered in water. Actually, I'm going to be honest. Like the blowback of the room overall, not gone as bad as I thought.
Good.
My table's kind of wet, but I actually cleared everything off of it just because I was planning to do this. But it actually didn't go too bad.
Well, good. Well, we also didn't time that very well because you're the first. You're the first host.
So clean up and get ready.
Yeah.
clean up on aisle 5.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, so today we're gonna start out by talking about what is a mass market game. We use this term all the time. And so is this a game that is it by definition a mass market game because I can find it at Target or Barnes & Noble or Walmart, or is it just because of the actual style of the play? Like is it more I can find it at Target, or is it more it looks out of place at my friendly local game store, right? Like what defines a mass market game? So Andy, what's your thoughts?
Well, first of all, thank you, Chris. I got to tell you, I don't like all these labels you guys keep coming up with. Everyone wants to be about labels, right? We want to stereotype. We want to this. I just don't care. I just don't care. Just give me a good game, okay? I don't care if it's mass market. I don't care if it's niche.
Yes,
niche.
You do.
For instance, can I give you an example? Ticket to Ride. Yeah, I'm over it because I've played it a million times, but it's still a good game. And yes, it's obviously a mass market game. It's in Target. It's probably at Walmart. Every game store known to man has it, and it'll pop up on Amazon if you just type in board games. But just because it's a mass market game doesn't mean it's a bad game, which I think we're prone to doing in this industry. We're prone to assigning that to it. Now, we label things in such a way we dismiss it. Sometimes I hear from people trashing mass market games, and it reminds me, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of indie film snobs. Oh, well, it's just another one of those. I mean, sure, there's good stuff that isn't mass market, and there's stuff that is good that's mass market, but I just don't care. And now, what I want to do, what I do find more interesting is maybe what the process is behind what gets funding and what doesn't. Some games that end up mass market are perplexing to me because they're not good at this point. We just continue to prop up certain games like Sorry or Trouble or Hungry Hippos, or well, actually
Don't Wake Daddy.
That one's not too bad. But you could easily put the same marketing behind Camel Up or Sushi Go. And now look, I still consider those two probably mass market, but they deserve more love than some of these old games that I think we're just attached to because of nostalgia or whatever. I don't know. I'm tired of the board game industry being defined by these old games that are just that really don't play well and stuff. Anyway, that's me. I kind of went off on a random tangent there. Go ahead, Daniel. What do you got?
Yeah, so I couldn't disagree with you more. So
what?
Yeah, surprised. No, you said Ticket to Ride is a mass market game. Sushi Go, no, those are hobby games. Before
no, those are mass market games. They're everywhere.
No. See, so before we had hobby games, we had mass market games, and what makes a hobby game is the designer's name on that cover, which also some people would call a designer game. So by definition, we have a divide. If you are going to make a game and not even credit who the designer is, or it's made by a group of no-named people, that, my friend, is a mass market game. And that is exactly what, these Risk, Monopoly, Hasbro, anything Hasbro makes. Now, yes, a designer made that. Like, you can find out who made Monopoly and who made Risk, but they're not on the box.
Sure they are. You haven't heard of the Parker brothers?
Yeah, exactly. So no,
they're right up there with Uwe Rosenberg and Klaus Tuber.
Hey, this is my turn. Okay, so the mass market is a feel. It's hard to define, but when you see a mass market game, you know what a mass market game is, and you can't tell me it's not. If I show you Monopoly and I show you Wingspan, which are both in Target, you know immediately that one is on a lower standard than the other. That is a mass market game. Mass market isn't necessarily for just the masses, like to easy accessibility. It means low quality, shovelware, essentially. That's what mass market is to me. And so don't get me in this like Ravensburger is the new mass market, or Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion because it's in Target. That's just nonsense, and it's nonsense. You can feel it in your heart and you can feel it in your soul. There you go. So John, how do you agree with me?
Well, you bring up some interesting points, and I do like your,
all right, moving on to Chris.
You bring up some good points about the designer's name and everything. You're not going to see a designer's name on some game where you have so much time before a pie hits you in the face, or you have to have your mouth taped open and try to say something without spitting all over the table. You don't see designers' names on those. Those are your mass market games. And I think another thing we have to look at is back in the day when we used to have real artists making music, there would be something like a Christian artist that would come out with an album that would be on the top 40. We would have a country artist that would have stuff that was in the pop charts. And we called these crossover artists. And some games that are designer games become crossover games. Doesn't mean they're not designer games anymore. You got Wingspan, you got, like you're saying, Ticket to Ride and what have you. If they become popular enough as a designer game, then yeah, Walmart's not stupid. They know people are going to buy it. They're going to put it on their shelves. That's a compliment to the game of how good of a designer game it is, does not make it a mass market game. So what makes a mass market game? That was a good definition, is that there's no designer name on it. But it's also a good definition of what somebody once said. I can tell the difference between art and well, maybe I shouldn't use that term, but
I think I know what you're
I
going
can
for.
tell when I don't know it, but I can tell when I see it.
I know it when I see it.
But I can tell when I play it, or I can tell when I look at the box if that's a mass market game or not. So yeah, I think that in some ways it's a little misconstrued what could be mass market. In some ways it's misunderstood, but there's definitely a difference between the designer games and the mass market games. And then, like I said, just because you can find it in Walmart and Target does not make it a mass market game.
Thanks for agreeing with me, John.
Well, man, I hate going last on all on these because it's like by the time it gets to me, sometimes I've like my ideas have been taken and all the different stuff. But you know, I don't know what the things you guys said have kind of led me to this. So I am going. I've now planted my flag saying Barnes and Noble is no longer a mass market retailer because they have games that are good. The ones at Target, the ones at Walmart, short of, this is broad strokes. There are exceptions. I think you can get Terraforming Mars at Target and Walmart, but all the ones you can find at Target and Walmart are boring, simpleton games, and they're terrible because of it. But you can actually find games that are interesting and have some depth to it at Barnes & Noble. So if you can find it at Barnes & Noble or your friendly local game store, it's an actual game. And Target and Walmart and mass market for people that just want to, push little things around and not actually play anything. That's where I'm at.
Is that it? That's your whole take?
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, like I said, you guys kind of took some of my thoughts, and after hearing what you guys said, I kind of like, I threw Barnes and Noble there initially as a mass market kind of retailer, and I'm like, no, they have real good games there. You can actually find some deep, heavy games there, and so therefore, I put them up there with the friendly local game store and Target and Walmart. That's where you find the trash mass market games.
Yeah.
I've got 2 points to make in response to all this. First of all, what you were quoting there, John, for everyone out there that is wondering, you were quoting the late Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart, who was referring to obscenity. And
Yes.
when he said, obscenity, I said, I know it when I see it. That
Yes.
was his ruling, which was,
Yes.
by the way, a terrible ruling. I mean, just because that's yeah.
You're right.
Anyway.
It's not scientific, but
It's
is
not.
accurate. But it is accurate, and you
But
know it's accurate when you
The
look.
second,
Yeah.
the second part is that you're getting way too detailed about this. You need to look at the name, mass market. Is it available to the masses? Is there a market for it? It is a mass market game. Ticket to Ride and Wingspan are mass market games. They're available to the masses and they're on the market.
Okay, so
They go along with what I said.
Yeah, if you look at the definition in the dictionary, you are correct. So technically, you are correct, Andy. But in the board
That's
game
all we need to
hobby-
know, right?
No.
That
In
I'm
the board game
correct.
hobby, we like to throw out round terms, like you actually said. You called us board game snobs,
Yeah.
but it's true. We like to throw around terms, and I think it's important we understand how the terms evolve.
Yes.
And mass market has evolved. It's not Ticket to Ride anymore. It means Monopoly, and it means Monopoly and Risk and Sorry and Scrabble. So leave it at that. Don't be calling my Ravensburger games mass market, because they ain't. There you go.
Round 2.
Yeah.
Fight!
That was quick.
All right, let's move on to the second round, shall we?
All
It's time
right.
for who's hosting this one?
I am actually.
Well, then
so the next round
Continue.
You kind of jumped the gun there, man. All right.
I think Andy was done with that. He knew he was losing the fight. He's like, let's move this on.
Exactly. So yeah. So before we move on, let us know, what do you
Round
think a
Fight!
Oh wait,
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm getting way ahead.
Yes.
Let us know what you think a mass market game is. Give us your opinions down below. All right. Andy.
Like Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So go ahead. Can you introduce the next, or can you play the sound for the next?
Yes. Here we go.
Round 2. Fight!
There we go.
There
It's
we go.
time for Play Shelf Trade, hosted by Daniel Connors.
That's right. In this round, I'm going to propose 3 games. Each of us must say which game we would like to play right this moment, which one we're going to put on the shelf to play later, and which one we're going to trade, releasing it from our collection. And since we just entered football season, that some people care about, I don't know who. I think it's a minority of Americans who really care.
Daniel's finally getting booze, but somebody besides me. That's pretty nice.
I thought that was your walking music.
I know, right?
So, so today we're going to stick with the theme of what's going on in America right now, and that is football, football, football. So here is our 3 games that we are going to announce. First game is Blood Bowl. That's right. The miniatures Games Workshop game, Blood Bowl. The other one is the predecessor to Baseball Highlights, but Football Highlights. Football Highlights 2056, maybe? I don't know, but Football Highlights. And then the last one is First and Roll. You might have heard of First and Goal. That is not what we're doing. We're doing the roll and write version of First and Roll. So there we go. So let's start with John, right?
Yes.
Give
I
us your
believe we can
go.
start with me. All right. So I play a lot of football games with my kids. I don't play these a lot, but I play a lot of football games with one of my children, actually, who's complete football geek. So we play a lot of NFL Rush Zone and stuff like that, and electric football. And we play whatever that battle ball is, the old time football game. But I have played a couple of these. And
I don't see Battle Ball on the list here, but that's fine. You're good.
Yes. Well, battle ball is not one of them.
Okay.
But one of them I have played is First and Roll. Got it right here. And you might remember Old Man Chris mentioned this insert when I was doing my rant on inserts some time ago. That's quite the insert.
With the box, though. You got to show it in the box.
That's quite the insert.
Wow.
Two little holes there to hold it. It works. It holds everything in there. That's great. But I'd heard a lot of good things about First and Roll before we played it, and so we finally sat down and played it, and it's a steaming hot pile. I got to tell you, I am not into this game at all.
What?
It is.
Oh my god!
It is tedious and fastidious, and it's all based on luck, and it's no thanks. I've got quick luck football games I can play with them that have some drama instead of just you rolled that, and so no thanks. That's gonna be my dumpster fire, get rid of, trade it, because people apparently like it. So I could probably I actually got it free in a trade. I actually traded for it, and I forgot it was even included in one of the other games. Now I see why. I've got a minute and a half left. And so that's my get rid of, trade, whatever you want to call it. But the other two are a little tougher. I've played the Football Highlights, and Football Highlights is actually a decent game. I just don't know that it's a decent football game. Andy, you've seen the new Top Gun movie, correct?
I have.
Do they play
just like everyone in America except for you three?
Well, yeah, but didn't they play something in there called Dogfight Football?
They did. They played where both offenses and both defenses were on the field at the same time.
Isn't that called rugby?
No, that's not.
Okay.
So that's basically what Football Highlights is like, because you're both on offense and defense at the same time. Literally, you're like, boom, here's my offense, here's defense, offense, defense. You're going back and forth that way. And the replayability is better because there's a lot of teams with it and everything, and it plays quick. So that's probably going to be my shelf, because I wasn't too disappointed with it. Just my son didn't like it that much, so I got rid of it. So my play by default is going to be, Daniel's going to be shocked with this, is Blood Bowl, because I don't know how many times I've said I'm not playing Blood Bowl. So I would like to try it because the minis look cool. I would like to at least try it once. So play Blood Bowl, shelf Football Highlights, get rid of First and Roll.
You heard it here. He's playing Blood Bowl. Tune in
Chris,
to episode 10 when he tells us his thoughts on Blood Bowl. I will tell you right now, John, when Philip watches this, he's literally going to do backflips.
Oh yeah,
for real.
I don't know how many times he's asked me to play it.
All right, Chris, what about you?
Oh man. All right. So I mean, if you were watching my screen, you probably saw my reactions to everything. So like I've talked about before, yes, I love First and Roll and I love Blood Bowl. And so mine's actually gonna be pretty quick. So my play at this moment is gonna be Blood Bowl, because I haven't played it in a while. Daniel and I were in like a little league. We kind of workshopped the rules quite a bit and kind of did a homebrew thing. It was a lot of fun. We really enjoyed. We kind of let it kind of die a little bit, but we really enjoy it, and Philip's part of it, and so is Randy and stuff like that. So but we haven't played in a while. I love that game. I was the one that like evangelized that game to our play group. I've been playing it since like college off and on. So actually before that, even I actually played it for the first one. I was like 15, but regardless. So gonna go with that as play, because I just haven't done it in a while. And then First and Roll is gonna be my shelf, because that game, John's just crazy. Like it's fantastic. It's it is simple. It's rolling the run die, the mid yard play, or the long pass, right? And it's fun, but like you're having to like outthink your opponent. The opponent's like, if they pick the right die, then they get to like minimize how much you do and stuff. And it's just, I don't know. They got rules for long bombs and punt blocks and interceptions and everything. It's just very, very tight. And yes, it's super luck. You're rolling dice, but like it's the best feeling football game I've ever played. So John doesn't know what he's talking about. That's just simple. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. That game is fantastic. And then football highlights. I haven't even played the game. I don't have anything against it. I actually love baseball highlights. Love baseball highlights. But that's part of the reason of why I don't need to play this. Like I have not heard anyone say this is like I don't need to play baseball highlights anymore. Football highlights is so much better. I never need to play it again. I've not heard that from anyone. I've heard it's like a kind of a different game, and I've always got it's all right response from everyone. So because of that, and how much I love baseball highlights, gonna go ahead and trade that football highlights. What about you, Andy?
I love that Andy got, for the first time all show, he got that timer correct.
He did get it right.
Well, you guys are throwing me off because the segment, they were 1 minute. Now they're 2 minutes. I'm so confused.
Nobody cares. Okay. Chris, great thing about first and roll is those random turnovers, buddy. Well, it's
my turn. My clock is running.
Well, stop it. This is response to Chris time.
No, that'll come later. Yes. So you want to know what I want to think about these games and football games, right?
Yes.
I want to play football. That's what I want to do. I'd rather play actual football or watch actual football. Why would I want to play any of these games? There's no football game, board game theme that's good. These are all going to be traded. Okay, that's it. No, if you held a gun to my head, I would play football highlights. I have played that and enjoyed it, and it wasn't bad. But again, Blood Bowl. No, I'm sorry. They've been trying for years to get me to play, and you know what? It's too much. It's like you have to invest 4 hours in that. That's longer than an NFL game lasts. I would rather go watch an NFL game. I'd rather go throw the ball with my son. So no, I'm getting rid of Blood Bowl. And then first and roll, whatever. I'll put it on the shelf and try it out. Sounds interesting, especially if John doesn't like it.
Yeah. I was gonna say the random turnovers when you're on the 2-yard line. Those are really fun.
Yeah, I was going to say back to content that people care about. John, your response to what you were saying. Yeah, I mean, yes, it is random, but that's how football feels, right? Like all the time people fumble the ball and it makes no sense. It's like, how did you fumble on that play? All you had to do was hold the ball. All you had to do was hold the ball when you fumbled. That happens all the time, and it drives us crazy. So, and then interceptions, right? You get a tip pass, lands in someone's hands. It's random as well. It's random as well. So I don't know. I think it's great.
Let me tell you one way one of these other cheesy games does it.
Do I get a turn?
Oh, my bad.
This is what they sent me as a season ticket holder for the Chiefs.
I was going to ask you if you got that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Cool? Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Daniel. So, I forgot you.
All right. Time to move on.
No. All right. So, actually, I'm going to say I'm going to trade first and roll because I had no desire to play that game. But after hearing Chris's fervor for it, which I always knew he had, and Randy's for that matter, and then John's disdain for it, I'm like, okay, I actually do want to play this game now.
Well, and also, Daniel, I almost brought it up when I was talking about it, but I just kind of moved on. Like, it should be your ultimate game because it's nothing but outthinking your opponent. Like, when you're on defense, you're only trying to think, okay, what are they going to do?
Okay.
Right? And then the offense is like, well, what should I do? What would I normally do now? The defense is going to think that, so I'm going to do something different. Yeah. Like, it's all outthinking your opponent right up your alley.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. I might actually play it, but for the context of the rules, I'm gonna pick trade, and then I'm going to put football highlights as play because I haven't played it yet. I really love baseball highlights, one of my favorite games, and I know the game is different, but I really want to experience that what that designer has come up with. I really have liked what he has done in the past, so this one really intrigues me. And I really wanted to play it, but it came out like right before COVID. So I know, or during COVID. So I know during a lot of people who had it, we just never got around to playing it. So it definitely is on my playlist, though I think Randy has it. So we do need to get together and play that soon. And then my shelf is going to be Blood Bowl. I really love Blood Bowl. It could be a top 10 game for me. But it's best in a season. And I just don't have the heart for a season anymore. It's time consuming. It is it's very rewarding, but very time consuming, and I'm doing too much other stuff right now, so I just can't do it. But it is going to firmly be on my shelf, and when my kids are old enough to play, we're going to rock it, and it's going to be awesome. So there's my play shelf trade. All right, well, guys, let us know what you think of your play shelf trade. Which one do you want to get rid of? Which one do you want to play, and which one do you want to shelf?
By the way,
what?
I wanted to give you guys a point of reference because I'm the guy who I fact check around here. You said you mentioned the designer of Baseball Highlights. That would be the one and the only Mike Fitzgerald,
Correct.
and that was published by Eagle Griffin Games. I actually had the chance to sit down with Mike Fitzgerald once and pitch a game that I'm working on potentially.
Oh,
that was years ago, but it may come to fruition at some point. Go ahead, Daniel. Sorry.
What's your game? Are you going to tell us? Are you afraid somebody's going to steal your idea?
They might steal my idea. It's just like the popsicle thing. Have we talked about the popsicle thing on here?
No, we didn't. It's because you threw a fit.
Oh, good.
I
So
was
the
literally
other
about to
day
say,
we're
is it a game
talking.
about managing a popsicle
Can we get
stand?
back on topic?
No, I want to tell them about my popsicle idea.
Right.
They have ice cream stores. They have shaved ice places. Why not a popsicle store?
Because it's stupid.
You could have all kinds of flavors and shapes, and the overhead would be so low.
That's why people wouldn't buy one.
The only reason I'm talking about it now is because my wife said it was stupid.
I can make it at home.
Okay, but to that, John, like there's shoes, right? You can buy a pair of shoes at Walmart, and people are like, oh, well, those are trash. But those Jordans that cost $300, somehow they're better shoes. It's all perception.
Are we still talking about popsicles?
No,
Yes.
we're not.
That's what I'm saying.
Chris,
Like he says, nobody wants popsicles because they're so low overhead. And I'm like, it's all about perception.
Chris thinks Air Jordans taste better than Great Value shoes
Well, then you're actually okay.
or Sam's Choice.
It's probably time to move along. Though.
I should have known Chris wouldn't get it back on track. Anyway,
Hey, you know what? We're going to take a break.
no, we're not. I'm going to say something first. Chris,
Okay.
just talking about the turnovers in first and roll.
Oh, we're going way back. Come on. You can't do that.
I'm talking about what we're supposed to talk
We're
about.
taking a Daniel turn. We're going back 4 turns.
That's
Just
right.
to show you the right way to
Previously
do
on
it.
Around the Board.
when we played NFL Rush Zone, you're rolling dice on defense. Ooh, and you got 2 6s. If you roll another 6, it's a 60-yard interception for a touchdown. The other guy rolls his dice, and then there's drama to it. You don't know if you're going to get it or not, but you know it's a possibility instead of just randomly, hey, a turnover. How about that? That's what's wrong with it. You're doing all this stuff, and it's just random turnover. Nothing you do about it. No anticipation.
But
no
isn't
drama.
it random to roll boxcars too?
It is, but you know it could come. You know it could happen.
I
You
know there
there's
could be a
possibility
penalty.
for it
That's how I'm feeling.
no
right now,
drama.
by the way.
in first and goal.
Okay,
All right, that's all I had to get out of my chest.
that's fair.
All right, guys. Well, that was the end of that segment. So let's take a break here. And before we leave, we have a special announcement to make. So stay tuned, and it's going to talk about the contest that's coming up.
An exciting announcement.
Contest?
Exciting announcement. Contest.
Yes.
What?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hey there, little Billy. Would you like to win a new board game?
Well, boy, howdy, I would like to win a board game. What would I do? And my name is Daniel.
Haha. Well, Billy, all you have to do is go to your computer. Subscribe to Around the Board on YouTube. Go to episode 8 and leave a comment, and you could be a winner. You could win a new game to play with your friends. You could trade this game for a better game. You could even burn it with fire.
Thanks, Mr. Disembodied Voice.
You're welcome, little Billy. This contest will end October 14th, 2022. Only eligible in the continental USA.
All right, and we're back, and that contest sounds really cool. So make sure you get involved, and make sure you get registered, and make sure you get signed up, and make sure you get a chance to win your copy of Wingspan when we release it.
A mass market game.
Oh, my
Andy, what else we got?
Well, it is now time for us to join our favorite character on the show, and that would be Mr. Hansa himself, as he reads some comments from some of our viewers.
Okay.
Oh, well, I'm your favorite, Andy. Thank you so much. But I digress. Let me read a comment from Aaron Corbett on episode 6 when the guys talked about logging board games. Aaron Corbett says, I definitely felt like Chris did about logging games. I'm not going to do it since I have to have the room on my phone for fast food restaurant apps. But I can see the attraction. Oh, back to you, Andy.
Well, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I know what you mean. I have like the Arby's app and the Wendy's app and the McDonald's app and the
Yes.
what have you.
Yeah, I have a Freddy's app and that's it, and it never works, so I stopped using
Freddy's
Oh,
app.
for real? I don't have the Freddy's
Yeah.
app.
it. Yeah,
Think about that one yet.
I ate
Hashtag
at
not
Freddy's a
sponsored
lot.
yet, but still.
I'm like a Nazi with my McDonald's app. I will not do anything unless it's through the app, just because if I'm not using it for a discount, I'm getting points toward future free food. So
Oh, sure.
You know which one I was really happy about for a long time is Chick-fil-A was sending me all kinds of free stuff, but then they all of a sudden just stopped, and so now I'm like, I'm losing my interest.
Did you realize it was Sunday and that's why they just stopped all kinds of work? They don't even send stuff on their app.
No, they used to like every week they'd send me like a cookie or something, and I was like, oh, I like you guys, and
They
now
send
they
you a cookie through the app.
that's
don't.
pretty
They'd send me
good.
a cookie right through the app,
Next level
Wow.
tech.
It's like Star
Yeah.
Trek technology.
a replicator. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Well, thanks, Aaron, for derailing that conversation. But I think we are ready for what are we ready for, Andy?
Yeah, what is it?
No.
Ready for it? Oh no,
Right?
that's the
doesn't
wrong
seem
sound
right.
effect. I'm sorry.
Round 3. Fight!
I thought maybe Andy was thinking that first half was a little too contentious, so he was taking it down a notch.
I was trying to be
So,
less
like,
controversial.
mellow out the theme so we can all get along here for the second half. But I think it goes to me. Our next topic is, does the theme make a game better? Interesting thing to ponder, isn't it? Some of us consider ourselves theme people. Some of us don't really consider ourselves theme people, but whether you are or not, that is the question. Is there advantages to having a theme? Is there disadvantages? Does it get in the way of the game sometimes? Because some people that don't really like a theme, sometimes that's what they think. This game would be better if I could just push my cubes and not have to worry about them killing animals with them or what have you. So with that, we'll move along and see what people think. Does the theme make a game better? Could you not care less about the theme? Does the theme actually get in the way? Chris, what say you, buddy?
Yes. All right,
Thank
Andy.
you. Andy.
But honestly, yeah, the answer is yes to all those things you said. Yeah, like it can make a game better. It certainly can. Like I know that was my initial reaction when I saw My Father's Work when the Kickstarter first was started. Get some buzz and go live and stuff like that. Because up until that point, every good it was you either were a Euro or you were a Ameritrash, right? Ameritrash, high theme but terrible mechanics usually, and then Euros doesn't matter about the theme absolutely at all, and it's all about the mechanics. And I was like, oh, cool, this is a worker placement game, straight Euro kind of worker placement with a huge level of theme, and I've got it, and I love it. I think it has some problems. They made an amazing game, and then shoved a novel in there. There's way too much reading, and it's just whatever. But it's still fantastic. The game itself is great. I love it. But yes, with that said, perfect example, just what you're talking about. Sometimes the theme can get in the way of the game. Shoving that novel in there gets in the way of the game. It takes much longer than it needs to because of it. They, in my opinion, the way you fix it, you go on the app and they just do an abridged version. Like, instead of reading 3 paragraphs, you just got to read 3 sentences and it moved on, right? So I love it. It can always, the highest ceiling certainly is mechanics and theme together, right? But at the same time, it can also, in some ways, almost cause the lowest floor too, if it's just like super theme and no mechanics, or or disjointed stuff. And it's a happy medium. But yeah, without question, theme can add to the highest ceiling, that's for sure. What you got, Andy?
Well,
Well-
can I respond to that real quick?
Oh, sure.
No, you
Am I
can't.
allowed
My
to, Andy?
turn.
Just to wait till the end.
Oh, fine. I'll wait till the end.
We have format meetings for a reason, John. Gee, many.
Make sure you get my boo in there.
Absolutely.
Customary
So
move.
themes. Do themes matter? Not as much as mechanics. So a theme can help, sure. It can help. And there are examples of that. I'll give you the clearest example I've got is there's a bunch of entry-level worker placement games, right? That are good, they're not great, they're fine. One that I really like because of the theme and in adding to it is Santa's Workshop. I'm not going to go out there and say it's an awesome game. It's a fine game, but the theme really does just work. It's amazing. So if you guys haven't played Santa's Workshop, you are playing as elves at the North Pole and you are assembling gifts in time for Christmas, and you have to go out to the different workshops and get your materials, whether it's wood or metal or plastic or cloth, and you are building presents, and they come in the form of little letters to Santa. and it tells you what you need, and it's kind of cool. And you can do things like feed reindeer and go to the coal mine to turn coal into other materials, and whatever. The theme's cool, and you're counting down the days to Christmas. It's a fun little game. Would that game be fun without that theme? It'd be okay, but the theme really makes it. However, that all being said, some of my favorite games, the themes are just kind of, I don't know, worthless. So, for instance, Heaven and Ale. It's got a theme, but I mean, really, is anybody really paying attention to what's going on there? It's just a really cool mechanics in Heaven and Ale. It's about monks brewing beer, but does that get anybody super excited? Probably not. But I love that game. It's probably my top game, and maybe it's definitely top 5. Raja of the Ganges. Another game that's got some art in it, Indian art, and it's cool, I guess. But really, it could be anything. But it's a great game. The mechanics are amazing. So I'm kind of torn. I like it when it comes together. I really do enjoy that. There's other examples of that. For me, it would be games like Terraforming Mars. I think the theme works fantastic in Terraforming Mars. The mechanics play into that. Of course, those of you who aren't familiar with it, of course, you are literally turning Mars into an What? Is my time up?
No, I don't know.
Your time is
Must
up.
be. All right, Daniel, what do you say?
Is my time up?
Yes, it's been 2 minutes.
Oh, well, I
like
can't
3
see it. It's
now.
not on the screen. It's not on the teleprompter anymore.
Because it's over. There you go.
Oh, gee.
All right. Well,
The other game, real fast, the other game
Okay.
that plays well, the theme comes together, is Godfather Corleone's Empire.
there you
Anyway,
go.
go ahead, Daniel.
All right. Yes. Does a theme make a game better? It definitely does. You guys may not have known this, but I really enjoy Marvel, and some of my favorite, games are Marvel games. One of which is Legendary, and the other one is Marvel Champions. Is that what it's called? Oh my gosh, it just left me. Yes,
That's one of
Marvel
them.
Champions, Marvel Champions, and Marvel Legendary. And I think
Dice
Marvel
Master?
and Dice Masters and versus 2-player card game system. I love it all. So, does the so the theme matters? It totally makes a game better. And I also think what hasn't been said yet, the importance of theme. And the importance of theme is to be able to make sure that you understand the mechanic that you are doing on the board. I think in the past, that's where Euro games have always went off the rail, is that they were like, hey, here's a trade in the Mediterranean game. You're just moving cubes around. You're trading this to get this. Well, why do you trade sugar to get wheat? I don't know, because you just do. But if instead you're like, hey, if you're playing Abomination and you realize that your blood is about to go spoil, you need to go get ice to put that blood on so it stays fresh longer. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, I know what ice does. It keeps blood fresh, because everybody knows that. So theme really helps bring together a theme that mechanics that could be hard to remember or otherwise would be a challenge to reproduce. But yeah, the mechanics are definitely the first thing that's important. If you don't have good mechanics, it doesn't matter what the theme is. Even some of these Marvel games are garbage, I will admit it. So a theme alone cannot hold the game. But and actually that's now that I'm thinking about it, while theme alone cannot hold a good game, mechanics alone can hold up a good game. Like Azul is a great game, and all you're doing is putting tiles on a board. Like, no, the theme doesn't matter, but that's a great game. So there you go. That's my thoughts. John, what about you?
Well, I'm glad we let Andy talk a little extra time, because he mentioned one amazing thematic worker placement game with The Godfather. And then I was thinking in my mind about the next one that Daniel mentioned, which is Abomination, both completely dripping with theme. And like you're saying, it's the theme. To me, one of the reasons a good theme, a well implemented theme, helps a game is because of that, because it makes the rules make sense, it makes the gameplay make sense, and it just will, what do they call it, ergonomically or organically, the game will just kind of teach itself, because it makes sense. Well, if I'm going to kill somebody, I need guns. If I want to keep my blood from spoiling, I need ice. These things make sense. If I'm going to electrocute my monster back to life, I need these Tesla coil things, to charge him. So those things make sense. And I think Chris, your biggest problem wasn't with the theme so much, but with the implementation of that theme, because then that's a whole nother dog in the fight. Is how was the theme implemented? Was it implemented poorly? Does it detract from the game, or was it implemented well just because it helps you keep on track for what you're doing in the game? So to me, and I have met people that literally don't want a theme, and not just because they're playing an abstract game like Azul, but other games where I'll even try to describe it to them what this game is about. Not just tell me what I'm doing with my cubes. Just tell me what it's like. And I'm just the opposite. I hate it when someone explains a game to me and they don't start with the theme. Like, hey, you're managing a restaurant and no, it's, some people explain a game to you like, on your turn you have two things you can do. You can play a card, or you can do why am I playing a card? What am I doing? What's my goal? I like to be immersed in the game. Maybe that's just me, but to me, explaining the theme along with the game and the theme being implemented in the game makes a huge difference in your enjoyment of said game. Thank you.
There we go.
So, John, just to clarify, you're more of an immersion guy than a sprinkling guy.
Yes, I guess so. Definition.
I will admit, I'm a little surprised at the direction that Chris went with this topic. I really
was too.
I thought he was going to bash theme, and it didn't really matter, and that he wanted every one of his games to be as dry as a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Or an 18xx game.
Yeah, no. So I mean that's fair. I mean that's right. But what I'm saying, I agree with you 100%. Like I don't care. Right? Not even though I don't care. It was exactly what you were saying, Daniel. Is that like mechanics can be a game, a theme can't. Right? Like in like mechanics can make a game, a theme can't. Right? If the play is terrible, it doesn't matter how thematic, how pretty the art, all that stuff, all that kind of goes together. All of my hate for art, hate for theme, all that goes together.
Hater.
Like if the mechanics are not there, it does not care. It doesn't matter how pretty the board is, how good the components. It's not any good. So that is technically the old man view on the games. Is that correct? It's all trash, and I want it to be super dry and just good mechanics. But that's just because that's kind of where we've been all these years, right? If it has been a good mechanical game, it's usually been dry and terrible, right? And the games that were thematic were bad. But we are getting, I will admit, we are getting there to where now we can have some art and still be good. I will say though, I am seeing a lot of this kind of slightly different subject, but listen, we got here a lot of games that are pretty and now hard to play because of it. It's hard to I'm starting to see a lot of boards where I'm just like, wait, where do I go on the board to do my thing? Like, oh, it's right over here, and I'm like, where do I actually put my pawn? Because I can't tell if the square is part of the art or actually where it's getting the art's getting too focused on, and it's actually making the play difficult.
Sounds like an old man problem.
Chris, it sounds like you'd rather play a game that you can access via Braille, correct? Braille, and then John, you're the opposite. You'd rather be in full costume for any of these games. I feel like you're a costume guy.
I'm not much of a cosplayer.
Actually, are you the kind of guy that likes to read the background of the game, like in the instruction booklets? You know how they have
at times, yes,
the backstory.
Yes, I will sometimes. Yes.
Do you when you teach a game? Do you do that?
I don't do it when I teach the game. I will improvise that. Yes, I will give my version of it.
Oh, like how It's a Wonderful Life, how it's a dystopian future. Like you explained that before you played
I
the game,
don't
right?
I don't recall ever reading that. No.
You never told me about. See, maybe I would have liked it more if I'd known that.
You should do that at the next Second Friday, John.
I should.
Like, all right, here we go. I'm going to explain the game real quick and just open the book and start reading the back.
There you go.
Just to quickly summarize one more thing. So, as I was thinking about it some more, the thing is I love it when a theme does come together with a game, but it's just like several people have said, it's not absolutely necessary by any means. There are so many games that I've played that are so dry as far as a theme, but I love them. I have so much fun playing, the Uwe Rosenberg and the Stefan Felds and these kind of games that just are great mechanical games.
Yeah.
But
I always like when you can tell that the mechanics came before the theme, because you're like, oh, this mechanic makes thematic sense. This one does. And then it gets to this one and they're like, why am I doing this? And they're like, just because.
Yes, just because.
Accept it. And you're like,
well, and when you're a guy like, what is it, Reiner Knizia, who's the good doctor, who's
he's made a couple games.
400 some games. At that point, does he just have like a dartboard and he says, what's the theme going to be this time?
That's what it seems like.
100%.
And that's why that man has my heart.
Tell us what you think about themes in games in the comments below. And now,
yes,
round 4, fight.
Was there a round 4 in Mortal Kombat?
There is now.
It was a super secret round 4.
Oh,
True.
okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, in the next segment, we're going to talk about a game. We do this from time to time, and this one is going to be the venerable. Can I call it venerable at this point? Wingspan. It is 1 to 5 players. It's about 40, 70 minutes to play. Age is 10 plus. Weight on Board Game Geek would be 2.45 out of 5. Wingspan, well, it's a competitive medium weight card-driven engine building game from Stonemaier Games, which always produces fine games as far as components are concerned. This one, designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, features over 170 birds, illustrated by Beth Sobel, Natalia Rojas, and Ana Maria Martinez. You play as bird enthusiasts seeking to discover and attract the best birds to your network of wildlife preserves. Gain food tokens, use a bird feeder, dice tower, and lay eggs using egg miniatures, which look like those little mints, those dinner mints. I always want to eat them. The winner is the player with the most points after 4 rounds. I will tell you how I feel about Wingspan at the end, but first we go to Daniel.
All right. Well, guys, I'm going to take this opportunity before my time officially starts to talk about the contest we have. So if you just zoomed around, bounced here and there in this episode, we are going to be reviewing, we call these the Great Game Debate, but review, whatever. But we're going to review this game and then release it out into the wild like the bird on the cover. So all you have to do is subscribe and leave a comment below. If you do that, we will be giving out this game and you could win. Our deadline, I forgot to look it up in ahead of time. Oh my goodness. Okay. It's going to be October 14th. October 14th. If you have put a comment and subscribe by October 14th, then you will have a chance to win this, and we'll reach out to you in the comment section. We'll tell you how to get a hold of us. Actually, you can get a hold of us through our email, like mine is daniel@aroundtheboard.net. And we will get your information and we'll send you this game. So with that being said, let's jump into the my thoughts on Wingspan.
All right, let's go to Daniel first.
So Wingspan it's an okay game. So as you guys all know, many of you guys know, Wingspan is kind of one of the biggest games that came out in the past 5 years, and took the world by storm. It's reached to non-gamers and gamers alike. You can find it in bird watching stores. You can find it in like a quick sack, even like they're everywhere. So they're
wait a minute. What is a bird watching store?
I don't know. There's bird watching stores.
There's stores exclusively for bird watchers.
I went to a nature preserve store. Not preserve store, but like a nature wildlife place, and
they have jars of preserves.
Yeah,
they sell nature preserves at the nature preserve store.
Yes, they did.
I'd like one nature preserve, please.
I'd like a jar of bluebird, please.
Anyways, the gift shops. It was in the gift shops. So, Wingspan. I just want to say that I am actually currently undefeated in Wingspan. I've played 7 times and I have not been beat yet. So I'm probably never going to play again. But it's fine. This is a game that I like to play with my sister. It's her favorite game, and I understand why. It's simple, it's quick, it gives you this really rewarding feeling of building an engine. I do feel like the one issue I have with it is that it feels like it's kind of scripted in the last round. It's all about just making sure you get enough eggs on the birds, but up until then, the game is really exciting. Like you're trying to find the perfect combination of cards. You're kind of cycling through that deck, cycling through your hands, and always trying to tactically decide when you're going to play a card and when you're just going to get rid of this card. So yeah. Anyways, Wingspan is pretty exciting for me. It's not exciting. It's meh. It's a meh game. I give it a 7. I will play it if it's presented, but it's not one I'm gonna seek out. So that's it. Sorry, my time was kind of wasted, but that's okay because I think other people are going to have much more interesting thoughts on it than I will.
So you said it's a great game. It's a great game, but it's a meh game. You voted for it before you voted against it.
Yes.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it's true. It's the great meh game debate. All right. Well, whatever. This is the example of my. If you guys haven't watched the show of this yet, this is what happens. I start off strong, and then in the last round, I blew it. I blew it this time. So, John, go ahead and give everybody your opinion of the game.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Wingspan. It's a game that came out. It was the hotness. I had no interest in playing it because I said before, I'm a theme guy, and bird theme, I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. I'd rather do have a gangster theme or Western theme, something like that. And we were at not a con, but like I don't know what, a charity event where we were playing board games and entering raffles and what have you. And just to kill some time, okay, I'll play half a game of Wingspan with you guys because that's what we had time to play. And I sat down and played with it, and I was enthralled. I think sometimes somebody can present a theme in such a way that you can tell that they were fervently interested in it. Like we were talking about slapped on themes earlier. This is not a slapped on theme. These people had a passion for this game when they made it, and it comes through with everything in there, except maybe the cubes, as Chris will argue. But everything else, the card quality, the information on the cards, the way the theme works throughout the game, how you don't have to feed this bird because he eats this. This bird has this kind of nest, so it can do this and this. It's everything like is so cohesive and so works together. And Daniel was talking about how, maybe experienced gamers wouldn't like to play it or whatever. I don't understand that either, because I've had experienced gamers not understand how to do each track as they're doing it. And I've had to explain it to them over and over and over about how, if you're not familiar with Wingspan, you have basically two things you can do. You're putting a new bird in one of your habitats, or you're activating one of your 3 habitats. And people, it blows their mind when they're activating their habitat. Yes, you start on the far right. You get to do everything in that habitat again. It takes, I swear, 3 out of the 4 rounds to tell people to where they're finally getting it right. And as Chris will attest, I'm a Nazi about moving your little cursor all the way over to the left as you're doing and announcing what you're doing, because that's the other thing. People that get so familiar with the game, they'll just, oh, I'm doing eggs. They do everything in one fell swoop that they get for doing. No. Show me what you're doing. What does that card do? Because then sometimes they'll say, oh, wait a minute. That's right. I don't have that card here anymore. I don't get to do that because I moved it over here. Yeah, exactly. So do what you actually are supposed to do in that habitat. So it's for what it is. Like you say, it should be a simple game and should be a simple game to teach. But for some people, that activating the habitat really, really, really gets under their gears and they can't figure it out. But that being said, it is an amazing game. And like I say, the passion comes through from the designers. That's what I got. Chris is going to completely agree with me. So he's just going to mail in his comments here. All right, Chris?
Actually, I've been waiting for this moment for a while now. Chris keeps trying to tell me his opinion. I'm like, wait.
Save it for the show.
I have not been more flabbergastingly disappointed with a game ever in my life. I use the word game loosely, in fact, because I mean, again, everyone talked about this game being so great, and I think it encompasses everything I hate about where this community has gone. They're so enthralled with the pretty birds and the dice tower that breaks down is not even all that good quality. John's one's already falling apart, and then even the weird choice, like he said, he alluded to, right? You make these beautiful eggs, but then the other thing are these little squares. Like, I mean, everyone makes fun of me, like in games that are with cubes. I'm like, you worked all this time on all this other components, and then the one thing you use the most, you're like, oh yeah, we'll just make a little cube. Like, it's not that hard to make it look like a birdhouse. What in the world? But the actual gameplay of this game, I couldn't believe it. So at the beginning you get everyone gets to choose a couple cards that kind of like extra bonus points, like in a lot of games, right? Like if you can complete this goal, you get some extra points. I got one that was like, if you choose this, it applies to 30% of the cards. What? My bonus can apply only 30% of the time, while someone else can have one that's like 70. What? How is that? That's totally lame. And then also, there were so many times on my turn I would have the cards, and I'm like, okay, cool. I need to get some food so I can do things. Let me look at the bird feeder dice tower that actually makes it more difficult for me to see the dice. Yep, not the things I need. Okay, cool. I'll just discard one for food. Oh wait, you can't do that. Like you can't actually still have a way, a disadvantage that still helps you move forward. No, I'm just here stuck. This is my turn. I can do nothing. That's actually useful. Fantastic. It was painful. Like I mean, and I'm ranting here and stuff, but it really is because I sat there and was playing and I could not believe it. Seriously, I've not played a game that's been so hyped before that just missed the mark so much, in my opinion, from actual gameplay. There were so many things that need to be ironed out. So that's my opinion.
Chris,
That
that,
was-
sounds like a get good moment.
I mean, that's fair, but it was just, I don't know. Yeah. Like with Terraforming Mars, right? You can always discard a card and get a couple bucks. Like, why can't I discard 2 cards and get the 1 food I need?
Yeah.
Well, I'll respond to that in the time we're allowed to respond. Meanwhile, it's Andy's turn.
Hey, thank you, Chris and John. So it's funny. I've never had a game, I think, that I was so, like, the first time I played it, I was like, this is awesome. But so quickly was like, I'm done with this. And that's what Wingspan was for me. I'll give it props for the unique theme. Not one that probably is going to attract many people, but it's unique. The components are really nice, which they are with Stonemaier games. That's I have one complaint, I guess. The board, it's got 3 tracks. It's actually technically got 4 tracks. It's got the 3 card tracks and then the top track where you are supposed to be placing the birds. And the 4th track is like microscopic, and I don't like that. I want the track to be evenly spaced. I don't know, call me OCD. Here's what I think. The game is interesting, but it ultimately comes down to, I feel like in the last round, who can lay the most eggs. I feel like the in-game points, there's different in-game points. They try and do variability, but it's really just the same thing in different ways. Like, it'll be like, you get more points for this type of nest. Well, there's like 8 different types of nests. So every game it's like, oh, we're going to play with this type of nest is more important, or this type of nest is more important. It's just the same thing. It's just in a different way. There's nothing really unique to it. And the other thing is that I like games. I don't want there to be complete blowouts in games. I don't like that, but I don't like games that it's so balanced and so close that it feels like really it just comes down to luck in the end as to who wins, because usually these games are 1 or 2 points. The winner wins by 1 or 2, maybe 3 points, and it's like, okay, well, any lucky kind of thing could have happened there to make that happen. So it kind of takes away from the skill aspect and becomes more luck-based, in my opinion. It's a fine game, but it's not one of my favorites. And if I'm going to play an engine builder, I'd much rather play something like Terraforming Mars.
All right.
Okay. Can I respond to that, or are we done? Daniel already had his turn, right?
Yeah.
Thank
it's your
God.
turn.
Okay. First of all, Andy, the games are hardly ever within a point or 2 when I've played. It's somebody might get an engine going where they just go absolutely insane. You don't know. And then
Well, that's 'cause you're playing with a bunch of noobs.
Let me do my spit. And so I'm going to forget what I'm going to say. The track size along the top, it's because you don't have to put a card on it. All the other cards all the other tracks you're putting cards on. All you do is put your little cube, say I'm building a bird, then you move it over.
Well, if they actually had something better than a cube,
2x4 thing to put your little cube on, that makes no
but
sense.
if they had something better than a cube, it could get a bigger track. If they actually had like a massive
something the
bird.
size of your wallet to take up that big space, is that what you want? Like a big old statue? I'm building a bird.
I want it to look good on the table, man.
Okay. Anyway, and then everybody always says this about it. Oh, well, it's about producing eggs. You produce eggs, you get points, and that's how you win it. That's a joke. Maybe your last 2 turns, all you're doing is producing eggs. There's always something better to do. That you have to build up that habitat for the producing eggs to even do anything, or else you're getting 1 egg. So you're gonna put 1 bird there and just build eggs the whole turn? I got 2 points every round, so I'm gonna win. No. Producing eggs is not the whole game. It might be the last 2 turns.
It's not the whole game, but when
it's not even the whole last round.
No,
it might be the last 2 turns, if that. Because usually you're trying to get something else done. You're like, I've got to get this bird done so I can meet this goal. I got to do this so I can do this. You got other things to do with those eggs. You got other things to do with your time. Just getting 3 points for doing eggs on a net is not going to do it. And my last thing, Chris, the food acquisition. You can turn in 2 of any type of food for any other kind of food. So that's how you can mitigate that. Maybe nobody told you that when we were playing.
Well, no, but even knowing that information now, there's not an influx of food enough in that game to where that's not like putting you back like 4 turns to do that.
That's where the strategy of when you build your birds comes in, because personally, I don't like to activate any row until at least have a bird in it. And so when you're
John,
activating the food with nothing in there, you're right. You're getting 1 food, and that just seems so lame. Sometimes you get stuck with it, though.
There's not enough variability in the game, though. There's not enough paths to victory. It's the same thing, and the bonuses are so similar. It's after a while, it's just like, okay, I've played Wingspan 5 times. I never need to play it again in my life.
There's a million different victories.
I felt that after 1.
You can cache food on your birds. You can tuck tuck birds underneath your other birds by hunting the whole game. You can produce birds that just make a lot of points on their own, or you can do it by the abilities on them, or you can try to get all the different goals. And Chris, having a goal where 30% of the birds qualify for it is huge. That's like one of the biggest ones. There's nobody out there with one that says 70% of the birds qualify.
Even more of a problem. Like if it's such
well,
a
you see like 100 birds in the game. You can't have all of them qualify.
Can I tell you one more thing?
Yes, I will allow
the only saving grace to this game may be a variant that we play.
Oh gosh.
Now, this is a great variant. Okay, I'm going to keep this as PG as I can, but there is a card, one of the in-game cards that says you get points for birds named after body parts, right? And so I'm just going to leave it at that. But there are certain birds that people argue, well, that's a body part.
Yes.
It may be, but I don't think that's what they intended.
No.
So that is what I call my Wingspan After Dark variant.
There you go. Wingspan against humanity.
I want to take the time real quick though, just I'll let our viewers know, no matter how much we trash this game, even though John likes it, I want to let you know that the giveaway actually will be a new copy. We're not like shipping off our trash that we don't want anymore to you. It will be a new copy. You don't have to worry about that.
That's right. That's a fair reminder. Yes.
I feel bad because we were kind of critical of Wingspan here, but Wingspan actually is a good game. When you look at all the games in existence, it's a fine game. It's in the top echelon. It's just that we have very specific tastes, some of us. So
don't wake daddy. I can tell you that. Greatest game of all time.
We're gonna have to play that game just so people know what you're talking.
We will, 100%. Yeah. It's gotta be.
Maybe if they had like
as a child, even as a kid, and just being like, wait, what kind of game? Like, I mean, I'd even see the game where the dog poops and all the different stuff, and I'm just, this is stupid and gross.
That's not as good.
But like the Don't Wake Daddy, I'm just like, what is this game? Like, how is this even a game?
Maybe you scare the crud out of my kids. I'll tell you that.
Maybe if Wingspan added like another habitat, like space or something.
Ooh,
space birds
in space.
Maybe Hasbro could re-release it and the birds just poop on you, and that's the whole theme of the game.
Guys, I have it. Wingspan Marvel Edition.
Oh, there it is.
You could have vulture,
hummingbird, vulture,
angel,
falcon, angel,
Hawkeye.
beak. Oh gosh, I gotta think of more. Oh
my gosh, that'd be awesome.
We all suicide.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to come up with as many birds as they have in Wingspan.
Challenge accepted.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for that. Let us know what your thoughts are on Wingspan. Tell us how wrong Chris is,
yes,
or how wrong John is. We got two extremes there, which is perfectly fine. But hey, well, that brings us to the end. All right, well, we've never had this happen before, but we actually have a tie. So in this case, I'm going to bring up a topic. The three of Andy, Chris, and John are all going to say the best game in that genre, and Randy is going to award the points for who he thinks is the closest to being correct. So here we go. Are you guys ready for this?
I think so.
The topic is going to be battle games. That means guys, dudes on a map, that type of thing.
Risk Legacy. Risk Legacy.
Oh, are we just going whenever?
I had to get in there before you said it. So
I'll throw out Small World.
Okay, I will go with Risk 2210.
All right, Randy, what is your favorite?
Yeah!
He knew it. He knew what it was.
The real answer was Axis and Allies, right?
I thought about throwing that out there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
I should have went with that. That's right. He was on his list that
I'm gonna be honest. I knew that was the correct answer. I knew I would win. I have nothing prepared to talk about, so I didn't want to win.
You spiked the ball at the on the 2-yard line. All right. Exactly. Well, Andy, because of
you got it, Daniel. You got it. You got it. You jumped in and got it. I see 8 points on the board. It's all yours.
I scooped in and got the victory. You know what? It's been a while, so I'm going to take it.
Do it.
All right, guys. I have a very serious topic to talk about, and that is the Shelf of Shame. There is a faction of the board game hobby who is attempting to co-opt this word. They want to get rid of this word. They think it holds too much negativity and whatever, and they want to change it to Shelf of Opportunity. And this, my friends, cannot stand. the shelf of opportunity is what you call your friendly local store. When you walk into that game store, that is the shelf of opportunity. These games on the shelf that are still in shrink, these are shelves of shame. You know why? Because I have 60 unplayed games on my shelf, and that's shameful. And you should feel bad if that you're in the same category as I am. So don't let these people try to downplay our very serious issue of buying too many games by saying, oh, shelf of opportunity, these games could be lovely and wonderful. No, stop buying games, guys. Stop buying games, Daniel. Play all the games you have. All right. It's shameful. There you go.
Wow, that sounded very old manish.
No, but I liked
Daniel.
it.
That's not your typical like everybody gets a trophy mentality. So
Yeah.
Well, not in this case, buddy.
not in this case.
Well,
All
you just
right.
offended some people, I'm sure, Daniel, with your hardline stance.
That's right. Well, hardline stances is what I take, and that's what the show is known for, right?
Is it?
Maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. All
All
right.
right. With that said,
I think that's
any
it.
final thoughts, anyone?
Well, hey, we have birthdays. I found a
we
birthday,
did 'em?
guys.
Oh,
good.
That's right.
birthdays.
That's actually why I was slightly distracted during the last segment we had, because I was looking on my phone what birthday I had, and then when it was my turn, I was like, "Ah, crap! I have to talk about Wingspan." So here we go. Chris,
that,
will be
that
proud
was
of this
Chris's
one.
reaction. Crap! I have to talk about Wingspan.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have a birthday to Age of Steam 2002, the year I graduated. So that makes it exactly 20 years old this month. Age of Steam. Has anybody played Age of Steam?
Very
Yeah, I
good.
knew Chris has. I bet you we could have put money on that.
Yeah.
True.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Age of Steam. And with that, that's all she wrote. I think that ends this episode.
Yeah,
So until next time. Wait, Andy, do you have something to say?
I do. Thanks to all of our wonderful viewers out there for tuning in. Remember, tap those like and subscribe buttons to continue receiving premium content just like this. Also, be sure to join our Facebook group, Around the Board, or send us an email, mail@aroundtheboard.net. Until next time, we'll see you.
The board. I don't know why we didn't say it.